you're a parent trying to escape a shouting match with your teenager, I don't know, a vacation getaway might sound like a good idea, but that's just one option. Today we're sharing ways to create a no yelling home and a stronger connection with your teen. Jessie Funk, director of Ivy Girls Academy, is joining me with some advice for parents and their teens. I'm so anxious to dive into this conversation with you. You work a lot with teens, so you probably hear a stronger side of the story.
For sure, and we'll definitely talk about that, and we need to talk about it, because if a parent loses control and yells and the kid yells back, we can't shame the kid. You know what I mean? Like there's two sides to the story, so I'm glad you said that.
What's the message as you work with teens? What's the message they take away when their parent does explode, kind of temper hits the ceiling, and it all comes out? That
the parent is not in control. And then we subconsciously send a message to the kid that it's okay for them to not be in control. So if we totally lose it, and I do this all the time, I want to be very crystal clear that I am not good at this all the time, but when we do that, we just send this total message like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I can't control myself, but I expect you to control yourself. The kids can see through that so fast. They know that, well, my dad loses it, my mom loses it, so I can too. I don't have to control myself.
There's the hypocrisy of it. Does it boil down to a respect issue then in the end? Because my parents, my mom's not in control, so do they lose that line of respect?
Absolutely, and I think that's one thing a parent could say to their kid. Like if they're getting yelled at, you know, they can say, this is about respect. And then if the parent yells, the kid can say, it's about respect. So we need this to be a mutual thing. And I think it's okay to admit that to your kid. And you say, you know what, I realize that I'm not respecting you. And I apologize for that. I own that. I'm going to work on that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to work on it. That's something we can use.
And I recognize not all parents yell, and that's wonderful. But I think all parents can fit into the category of frustration, right? When the frustration escalates. You say the first thing parents can do to calm down in the moment is to use tasks and takeaways.
Yeah. So I learned this from James Lehman, who developed the total transformation for like kids who are really defiant, like really, really bad. Not bad, I'm sorry, I just shamed them. I hate it when people do that. When kids are struggling. Yeah. So he says, give them a task. Instead of saying, you know, time out, he says, give them like, you have extra dishes, like you have to do extra dishes tonight, or you have to like give compliments to like 5 people every day until you get your phone back. I mean, like a task, something the kids have to work for, or if they're cursing, you say you have to go 24 hours without cursing in order to get your phone back.
So you're saying that in the moment to take it down? Tasks.
Because then you have something to go to. You have like a predetermined consequence. You know what to do. Because I think that's maybe part of why we yell, is that we don't know what to do. In the moment, we get frustrated. We're like, okay, fine, we'll time out, and like we'll just kind of run with that.
We'll throw it out there.
And so, like to have something where we know what to say. Like, all right, you have to go an entire 24 hours without yelling, or an entire 24 hours of kindness before you get a phone back.
And it's brilliant, because I'm thinking of how many times here in the studio in these very chairs we've sat and talked about, you know, a therapist and relationship coach about the adult conversations that are hard, and they say to have those phrases in your back pocket so you can pull them out. Why not have that same approach with your teenager, with your children? Do parents overlook their own stress in the moment?
I think so, for sure, because if we're losing it, and I know this is the case for me, when I yell, I think, oh my gosh, like what is it that's really bugging me? Because it's not my kid right now. Like his behavior is obnoxious, yes, it's hard, but that's not what's really bugging me. Like, what is it? And so I'll really have to just do a self-assessment and say, I know what it is. Like, I have this project that I'm doing on Sunday, and I'm not ready, and I'm stressed about that. That's what's getting me on edge. You know what I mean? So figuring out what is it that's bugging us, there's always something underneath it.
My friend told me, she said a lot of times in her home, she has preteens, and the anger can escalate over homework station, right, at the kitchen counter. And so she put on the fridge, eat a Snickers, playing off that commercial, because for her, a lot of times it's hunger. She's hungry or she's tired, and that's what takes over in those moments.
Totally, and there's nothing wrong with that. Knowing that we need to take some time to self-care. Like maybe I'm so exhausted, I'm so stressed out, I am hungry, or maybe we're dieting, and like that's just frustrating. And so there's something underneath the behavior, and we have to be honest about that as parents. We have to be mature enough to say there's something going on with me, it's not just you.
If it is the teen though, Jessie, who's yelling and shouting, you can't break past that wall of volume and communication, how can you assess their needs in the moment? Because it's easy to get caught up, right, in their emotion, meet their anger head on.
Yeah, I think it's so great for parents to say, okay, right now we're not going to get anywhere. Like, you have to get to school. That's why I'm frustrated. That's why you're frustrated. Like, we're stressed. You got to get to school. But when you come home, we're going to sit and we're going to talk about this.
So it's a timeout.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's totally okay to admit that, because you're both on edge. You're both ready to explode, and you can't talk about it right then. You can't reason when you're in that, like, angry. I mean, nothing is functioning at optimal levels in that moment. And so let them go to school, let them take a time out, let them go play a game, you go calm down for a minute, and then come back and say, okay, we really do have to fix this. And I did this with my own son the other day. I was so mad at him, and I was just angry, and I sat down and I said, I hate yelling at you, and I'm totally gonna cry saying it because it just hurts so bad. And I said, I hate yelling at you, and this is a problem. Like, we have to fix it. What can I do? Like, tell me, you tell me. And he's only 8, so I think this is for any kid, but teenagers too. Like, you give me some ideas. How can I calm down and be able to talk to you where I don't feel like I have to yell? Because sometimes I feel like if I yell, it's the only way you'll listen.
Right,
and
right.
I really think this would be a good idea for parents to ask their kid, how can you help me be a better parent to you? Because I don't like yelling. I love you so much. I hate it, so help me figure this out.
In those moments when you don't have the answers, make it a team effort.
Totally.
I love that.
And the kids come up with some pretty cool ideas, by the way. Like, that's a benefit. It helps them know that you're real. They know that you care about them. You're building the relationship and solving a problem at the same time. So I think that's something every parent can do.
What I'm hearing you say is a little thoughtful approach, right?
Yeah.
To a parenting struggle can result in the calm that we're all after. Thank you so much.
You're
we love your
welcome.
real life approach and examples. And where can viewers get more from you?
We have some fun things going on at ivygirlacademy.com right now, so check that out. We'd love it.
And on Instagram too.
That's right.
I'm tracking all the fun. Good things happening. You're helping teens, I know, in a lot of ways, different ways, Jessie.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.